Welcome back to the 7th hour math lab at Lewis and Clark. I'm Mr. Monty, and we're going to start on Unit 8B. Here's our practice 001, and we're working on simplifying exponentials. So I'm going to write simplify exponents. One of the toughest things for students to learn is how to handle negative exponents. So I'm going to put a question mark right here. And let's come back to it after we look at this data table and see if it makes more sense. If we're given the function y equals 2 to the x, we know it's a growth, we know we can use our calculator, but let's think about it in our head. 2 to the x, let's start with the 0. 2 to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the 1. 2 raised to the 1, that's just 2. 2 to the second power, or 2 squared, 4. 2 to the 3, 2 cubed, 2 times 2 times 2, good job. 8. Now before we go back here, let's just look at the pattern and see if we can find that constant that we've been talking about in those other tutorials. What's happening here? 1 divided by 2 is 2. Is it? Oh, good catch. I wrote it upside down. We wanted to take 2 divided by the 1. Nice. 4 divided by 2. Yeah? 2. 8 divided by 4. It's 2. So if we were going this direction, every one is multiplied by 2. Well, remember when we talked about multiplying by 2, what happens when we go the other direction? Undo a multiplication, you divide. Good job. So now, we're going to go the other direction, divide by a half, divide by a half, divide by a half. What happens when we go this direction and we divide by a half? 1/2, half of 1, half of 1, 1/2. Now, so that we can see the pattern here, let's take a look at this. 2 to the 0 is 1. Going to take a half. 2 to the minus 1 is a half. Now I'm going to write 2 to the minus 2. Now stop a second and think about it before we write anything down. I want to take half of a half. 2 to the minus 1 was 1/2. 2 to the minus 2. You see a pattern? See the division? One over 4. So half of 1/2. 1 over 4. So 2 squared was 4. 2 to the negative 2 is 1/4. 1 over 2 squared, which is the same as 1 over 4. So, I really like this little exercise here because we're all really good at this one now. And when we go backwards, if this was multiplying by 2, then to undo it, when we go the other direction, we divide by 2. This is the tutorial for Unit 8B, Practice 001. Make sure you swing by the math lab after school and pick up your practice so that you're successful with this skill. You will need it on the next assessment.